Hi, I'm Rich Falcone. I've been advising and defending employers in anything that comes up in the employment arena for over 30 years now. I wanted to talk with you today about the value of employment contracts for every employee that you employ. Why do you want to have employment contracts? Well, basically, employment contracts are going to protect you as the employer from any number of things. Two things stand out that they're going to protect you most about. One is lawsuits. You're going to get sued. You got to realize that if you're in business, if you're a successful business and you've been around for a while, you're going to wind up getting sued in one form or another, be it a small administrative matter or a full-blown class action lawsuit. Second, you want to protect your stuff. You want to protect your intellectual property. Employment contracts can be designed and tailored to do exactly that. What are some of the things you want to include in an employment contract? Well, you want to include such things as at-will employment. That defines the relationship so that some employee can't come back later and say, well, I had an implied contract of employment that required that I get paid X, or that you needed to provide progressive discipline before I could be terminated. So that's one reason. Another reason is if you have commission sales employees, you're required, at least under California law, to have a written agreement with your employees. Now, commission sales employees are one type of employee you could have, but for all other employees, I think it's very important for you to have, as a part of your employment contract, a provision that defines compensation. That's going to help minimize the risk of losing a lawsuit down the road when an employee says, I should have been compensated X, and your belief is that the employee should have been compensated Y. Arbitration agreements, it's a different forum. That is a provision that should be in your employment contract to avoid having to go through the court process and a jury trial, because juries, quite frankly, are not typically employer friendly. So that's another reason. Again, your intellectual property, I mentioned that early on. Your trade secrets, you want to protect that stuff. Any inventions the employee makes on behalf of your company, you want to make sure that remains yours and that the employee doesn't walk out the door with it. So having intellectual property and trade secret and inventions provision in your contract is going to be very important. Finally, you want to have agreements if you have independent contractors so that you can avoid those employees coming back later when you become successful and you've gone through your IPO, hopefully. Those independent contractors coming back and saying, you know what, I was not an independent contractor, I was an employee, and all those stock options that were given to the other employees, I should have got them too. This happened to Microsoft, and they litigated the issue for nearly a decade and wound up paying out millions of dollars to employees who were determined to be employees when Microsoft thought they were independent contractors. So, in summary, those are the reasons I can think of off the top of my head to suggest strongly to you that you consider having employment contracts for all of your employees and separate agreements for those individuals whom you consider to be independent contractors. I hope this was helpful. Thank you.